Now I want to show you guys some ancient tree stumps. About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I did a video on what I believe are remnants of petrified tree stumps that are visible on Google Earth. Here's a new one I just ran across, again by accident. This is up in the Arctic Circle, and I just found this one about a month ago. I wasn't looking for it. I was up there looking for something else, and I ran across that one. To me, looks like the ones we saw down in Madagascar. Here's the location, the coordinates to that area if you want to go check it out. Here is Juan de Nova, right here underneath this arrow. The tree stumps over here on Madagascar, we're just going to revisit, and I'm going to show you guys what these stumps look like using a different technique that I didn't have when I first ran across these things. We're looking at the south end of Madagascar right now, and half of the entire south end looks like a large tree just fell over. This looks like possibly the base of the tree, and the rest of it looks like the body of an old petrified tree. Here's another location. I'm going to show you guys exactly where this is at. Looks like to me the remnants of an old tree. It's very large. It's mind-boggling big, but to me that's what it looks like. And there's evidence of what looks like branches on the ground around these large stumps. And when I put the still images in this new program, this is another what I call a stump. It looks like an old stump to me. I use these in a different filter technique, and it kind of brings them to life. You can tell at least the branches look like vegetation, or they were part of something bigger at one point in time. This is yet another stump in a different location on the island of Madagascar. And to me, that's what that looks like, an old tree stump. Now we're going to get into the branches, and I think what these things were giant redwood trees. These look like redwood branches laying on the ground just to the left of that second tree stump that I showed you. See how using this technique here kind of pulls forward some of the other features that you don't necessarily see? That looks like vegetation. Looks like a lot of vegetation. Those are actually, in my humble opinion, and I could be wrong, those look like branches off of a tree. And they look like a redwood tree branch. Check out this insert that I put in, and look how similar these are in nature to that of a modern day redwood tree. That's a redwood tree branch, and here's what's laying on the ground near what I'm calling a tree stump. See the similarities? Here's the new filter technique that I use on those, what I call branches. To me, that's what they look like. There's the stump, there's what's laying on the ground next to.
This is the #1 way to make more money in 2021. It's made me nearly $170,000.
To this large circular feature on the ground that looks like a tree stump. I'm going to take you back to that location and just measure a couple of these areas and show you how mind-boggling big these stumps are. These trees must have been incredibly tall, if that's in fact what we're looking at. You can see other areas on the island of Madagascar that look like old tree stumps. We'll measure this one here real quick. We're going to measure it in miles. That's how big this is. Measures 8.4 miles across. Unbelievable. I'm going to take you guys now to the area where those redwood branches appear to be lying on the ground. Here's the stump. We're going to zoom in close. It's up here around the 10 o'clock position of the tree stump. You zoom in tight, take a look around. See what it looked like? Redwood branches laying on the ground. Obviously they're petrified, but they look like branches to me. See them? They're just laying all over the place. And when you zoom in really tight, they do have the appearance of a tree branch. See that? Here's another good example right there. I think those were part of a very large tree many years ago, and now for whatever reasons, the branches have made their way to the ground near the very large tree stump. And this area here, again, covers several miles. Here's one of the better ones I found in that area. To me, those look like large branches that were once part of a giant redwood tree. Also in this video, I've got a